To Crafting Unscripted. So I'm Katherine from Katherine Learns Stuff, and I'm already tongue-tied. If you are here already, please drop me a smiley face or a hello just so that I know that everything is working properly. Like usual, we need to make sure that it's working so that I'm not talking to myself. So hello everyone who's here, and I'm just going to do a quick check on the side here to make sure that we're actually streaming. We should be, but I always need to make sure because I'm good with technology that way. So just one second. I don't see anyone talking to me yet. I'm going to double check my chat here because it likes to change to a different chat where it goes on about the most popular chats, but it doesn't really seem to work if it's just one person talking, so I'm not sure how that works. What's going on with crafting this week? I have been like, I don't know, it's been crazy over here with crafting, and I'm just trying to like, I don't know, clean up. My daughter bought a whole bunch of painting, water paint stuff. I don't know. I've never used it before, so it's hard to say what exactly that is. And so she took over my workspace and then made a mess. And then I jumped in on top of that and made more of a mess. And then I also made a kind of worked on top of that, made a bigger mess. And then I have been trying to clean it up. And as I was cleaning up the mess that I made on top of the mess that she made, I realized I have a whole lot of scrap paper. Like, let me just show this here so I can get this on the screen. And let's just see here if this will work. So this is my bin. It's like full of scrap paper. My organization skills for scrap paper are abysmal, but everything is in here, and I try to like use my scraps when I can. It's kind of like just pounds and pounds and pounds of paper, like lots and lots. And so today I want to make a craft using some of this paper because it's all I ever do is like I make a new craft and I'm too lazy to dig through my box of paper and find like the piece that I need, the color, because I typically need like a square that's this big, and then on test I'll pull out an 8 by 10, 8.5 by 11 or a 12 by 12, use 3 inches of it, and then it goes into my scrap bin. And so if you have scrap paper, let me know how you store it, how you organize it, or what you do with it, because I always find that I try to save as much of it as I can, and then it's just like, what are you doing? And I'll show you here just before I throw up my thing here. So like I have a piece of paper like this, and really I should have cut this down to a square or even just thrown it out, but that's not the point. So I kind of have a million little pieces of paper that are all random. This is my Christmas collection of stuff, but they're all like, you could still use this little Santa or this sleigh or whatever. So there's lots of paper there. So today we're going to do some cards with scrap paper. So let's get this show started here. All right, so the first thing that I need to do is I need to make some space on my desk and have some tea, because for some reason summer has not arrived here. It was, I don't know where it's gone, but it is not here. It is freezing cold outside again. It is raining, it's miserable, and so I have to drink some tea to warm up because I can't. I went upstairs for lunch before this started, and I was so cold I was just like shivering, so I'm wearing a sweater again because it's cold. And let's change our view here. So we're gonna go face down. Let's see what we got here. I'm just trying to make some space on my screen for you guys to see what's going on. So if you've made cards with me before, I'm gonna put this here, maybe try not to spill it. If you've made cards with me before, no, it's not it. I like to buy these little packs from the dollar store, and it's like 20 or 30 sheets of paper. This one's a white one. I've got like some shiny ones here. They look like different colors. And so what I like to do is I like to use these ones because 2 reasons. They're a perfect size for a small little card, but they're also, I can make really cute envelopes with my Cricut on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper when I use card sizes like this. And so what I need to do before I get carried away, I'm going to start with a white one because I have more white than these colorful ones. I don't know what I'm going to do with those ones just yet. But I think with the way that we're going to work with my scrap paper, white might be a better idea. Now, if you read my email this morning, or just before this started, the idea is that this might take a few days to finish because I have thoughts. My brain was like running around in circles thinking. And so what we need to do is fold this in half first, because I need to figure out how big of a piece of paper I want. Now, I participate in like card summits and stuff, and I learn about cards because I kind of just make them for fun. I've never like, taken classes or anything. I just kind of figured it out as I go along. And as it turns out, I didn't know this, but you're actually supposed to have like I'm gonna say a mat on the card, and that's like the card base. And this is just kind of like the extra, right? So you're actually supposed to have the card on a thing. So it's like a design on top of this card. And so that's kind of where we're gonna go with this. Now this is, I need something to flatten this out because this is not flattening very well. So what I need to do is I just need to measure this because I'm going to make some little squares that are a bit smaller than this. Not out of my scrap paper because we're not that far in this craft yet. So first we got to just measure this. Nancy, hi. Is there a way to turn up your volume? I'm 100%, I'm having a hard time hearing. All right, let me see. Let me see here. All right, I'm going to move this up. And did that do anything? And I'm going to move this up. All right, did that do anything, Nancy, for you? Did that change my volume at all? So I've moved my dials here. I've moved them up. I don't know if that's done anything to change it. Can you hear me any better? So I wonder, because I don't know. Let me know if that made any difference for you. And I'm just going to quickly check myself here on my other screen and see if I can actually hear anything. Let me just see here. Hold on a second. I gotta figure out the volume on this. Yeah, it looks like from this side it's... I gotta turn this off now. I've messed this up. So I'm not sure what's going on, but that's not what I want. Did that... Like, I adjusted some knobs there, Nancy, and hopefully that helped out. But I'm at my max here on the input side, and I was just listening to this live on the side here, and I can hear it normally. So I'm not sure what the problem is or could be. So hopefully, I'm just looking at my settings here. Let me do one more check. Audio. I don't see anything here that I can change the volume to make it any louder. Hi, Ruth. You say the sound is okay for you. So hopefully whatever I did works out a little bit. But Nancy, if it's not working, I'm not sure what's going on. I don't have any more, like I'm at max here on my side, so I don't know if I can do anything else. So I'm sorry if you can't hear me very well. I'll have to Google it afterwards and see if there's something that I can figure out for next time. So back to the cards. So this is this little foldy thing. So we folded this out. Now I gotta find... So we're going to make little panels first for this, and I just got to measure this because I don't know numbers off the top of my head. We're looking at about, this is 5 3/4, so we'll want about 5 1/4 by, I got to write this down because I never forget by the time I'm over where I'm supposed to be. 5.25, and we got 4 1/8. What is that? We want to take 1/2 inch off of this. So we're going to go 3 5/8. Okay. So that's sort of the size that we're going to want for these squares. Now you could just use this if you wanted, but I'm going to do a whole bunch of them so that we've got like options to make different cards later. So we're going to do like a mass card production over the next week or so. We're not going to get it finished today because I can already see that's not going to happen. I'm just not committing that much to it. So I got to cut out a few pieces of paper here. So I ran out of white paper, and I'm going to use white paper in the background because for the background, just because it's going to, that's the way that we're going. So this is going to be the cards that we're going to make. They're going to open either this way or this way, whichever way you want. And I got this paper online. I don't know if it's any good, but it's white, and I needed a lot of white because I go through, like, I typically buy like a multi-pack of colorful papers, and even though it says to open here, it's not opening here. It's got a bunch of, like, it has maybe like 5 sheets of white and 5 sheets of every color, but not, 5 sheets of white is not enough for me. And if you are a crafter, you will know that 5 sheets is not enough sheets of white paper. So I bought this stuff, and it's, I don't know, this isn't really vibrant white. This is more of a cream white, so I'm kind of disappointed with that already, but oh well. It'll do for today's activity. So what I need to do, and I'm going to do a bunch of these, but we've got to measure this out. So where did I go? 3 we'll do this way, 3 maybe? 3 and what do we want? 5/8. 3 and 5/8 is here. Will we be able to get 3 here? 3 and 5/8, and yes, we can. And then this way we wanted to, what do we want? This isn't going to work though. This is going to give me an off size here because we want 5 1/4. Well, it should work because we've got 8 1/2. No, it's not going to work. So we're only going to get 1 this way. If I do it, we're going to do it 5 1/4 this way. So bear with me. We're going to cut off the edges because some of these edges don't look fantastic. 5 1/4. And all these little lines that I'm making are going to come off at the back anyways. 5 1/4. And then we want 3 and 5/8 this way. 3 and 5/8. And 3 and 5/8. All right. So, yes, that is better. Oh, well, I'm glad that worked. That makes me happy, Nancy. Thank you. I pushed all of my knobs up as well, so hopefully that helps. All right, so we're going to cut this, and I've measured 5 times, so we're probably going to need to cut a few more times because I don't think I did this right, but we'll try this out. We're going to see how this goes. Now, it doesn't need to be perfect because, you know, we're crafting, and crafting is not made about being perfect, but these are totally not the right size. That's okay. That one fits there, so that's good, but something is wrong here. And this one didn't cut through. Good afternoon, Bobby. Oh, all right, what did I do here, folks? This is not working. I need to change the blade of my paper cutter because I keep forgetting, and now it's ruining my project. So that one goes in the garbage. And let's try this again. Now I gotta trim this edge because it looks like the poop. That's a little bit better. All right, what do we got here? This is the wrong size. All right, so we're trying to, that should be there. Trying to make little squares that I've now totally just chewed up, but that's okay, we'll get there. All right, so I got 4 squares. We're gonna start with 4, but this might turn out to be more later. Just because we want to sort of get this idea started and then we can all work together. So each of these panels will go now on top of this little card here. And so right now I've got a white background and a white card, so it kind of doesn't show up very well. Don't worry, there is a method behind this madness. So next what we're going to do, we're going to put this card aside and we're going to put these 4 panels aside. I'm going to cut more of these later. Maybe not live. Maybe I'll do it later when we're not live, depending on how today goes. And I'm not going to make Christmas cards. I should have made Christmas paper earlier, but I'm not close enough to Christmas just yet to go like crazy on Christmas cards, but I have my bin of paper. And so what I want to do is I'm going to be slicing. We're going to cut like maybe 1-inch size pieces. Let me just see. Maybe 1.5 inch. I think maybe 1.5 inch. So I'm going to pull out a bunch of papers here. And the idea is I have a bin full of 1,000 colors and shapes and sizes. And I'm not going to do, I might do later, but I'm going to pull out like all these fancier ones so that it can look nice on the cards. And you'll see what we're doing in just a moment once I get closer to this activity. I'm pulling out just a bunch of papers here, so bear with me for a second. My organization might not be good enough, but my organizational skills here aren't the greatest, as you can see. So if you have a box of scrap paper like me, give me a thumbs up. If you are more organized than me and you have like a system for organizing your scrap paper, let me know how you organize that, because I'm curious. One day I really should, like, you know, organize this and do something with it so that it's easier to work with. But until that day, I'm just going to have a box full of paper. Okay, so I pulled out a bunch of sheets here. And now, the idea that we're going to do is we're going to cut up these, I think we're going to go like maybe 1 inch. Let's do 1 inch, because I think 1 inch we can make 1 inch work. And You can either cut it the 12 by 12 way or whichever way you want that you can make this work, because the idea is that we're going to use a bunch of this paper. Now, it's garbage. I got a measurement tool here somewhere on this guy. It's not the straight side. So we're trying to, where's my 1-inch mark? I'm going to cut a bunch of these. Oh, that's my 1-inch mark there. I'm going to cut a bunch of different sheets here to different, so that we can get some paperwork in here. So the fun times of cutting paper now begins. Now I got a sharp edge on my paper cutter, so that will cut better. But my ability to cut quickly is limited, so I apologize for that. And I'm going to cut a bunch of these, and we're going to start to put this together in just a moment. That one can stay on the side. And that's, but as you see, like, I've got paper that this is good, but part of it's not good. So it's all in my box of paper. And that's not even a straight edge. Let's fix that edge up first before we go crazy here. So how's everyone doing over there? Has anybody had good weather recently? We have the poo-poo weather again, where it is rainy and cold, and I do not like it. I'm ready for warm weather. My kids are ready for warm weather. Everyone is ready for warm weather, and it just doesn't want to come. And I'm kind of at my wit's edge with this not nice weather, because I really could use some nice weather. So, anyone got good weather? And if you are an American, because I think you guys had like a holiday last weekend, didn't you? Like, wasn't it Memorial Day? Was that on Monday? We had our holiday the week before in Canada, so we had that. And of course, the weather was not good for us. Lots of traditional card makers talk about Nina paper. Do they? Well, that's good news. I've never used it before, but the price was right at my favorite online store. And it was a quick delivery because I've run out. And I'm actually working on a card right now for a summit that I'm going to be having upcoming. And I was trying something out, and so I do print and cut on my Cricut. What is going on here? I do print and cut on my Cricut, but I do my test runs on like just regular printer paper, and that's fine, except that my Cricut doesn't cut printer paper very well. It like just chews it up because my mats are old and not clean, and so it just chews it up. So I needed some good paper to print some stuff out on, and so what I ended up doing was I had a piece of light blue paper instead, and so I used light blue paper to make my mock crafts, because I didn't have anything that was good enough. So I have like a picture of a fox that I did, and the fox is like blue and orange. It looked rather comical, but it will not do for the final card, so I needed to buy some white paper, and so that's what I did. And I'm gonna just use this here as well because this is cute, this little cactus. All right, so I'm gonna read these comments for a second because everyone's all of a sudden blowing up here. We have been cold and rainy for quite some time in New Hampshire, but the past few days I've been on vacation have been lovely and sunny today. Looks like it might go back to rain. Ugh. Well, I'm glad you've had some nice sunny days on vacation. That's always fun. I have not had sunny days. And then, yes, Memorial Day, my birthday was yesterday. Oh, happy birthday. I hope you had a good birthday. And if it was sunny, that would be super nice. I would like some nice warm weather. I'll take that as an inch as well. But we'll get there, hopefully. Yeah, we had Victoria Day the weekend before, and the weather was good on the Thursday, not the weekend, and then the weather was good on the Friday, and then it went to rain and cold and miserable. And so it's been raining, cold, and miserable forever, and I'm not liking this. I'm hoping for not raining, cold, and miserable soon, because I want to have the warm weather back. Now I know you guys are thinking, why does she keep just cutting more and more of these? But we're gonna make a bunch of cards now. We're gonna try to make some of these we're gonna make a bunch of these when we're online, but I will probably continue and make some more when we're offline, because I need to make a bunch of cards. Because I don't know what it is, but my house, we are like, everyone just uses up all the cards all the time. And so I keep making more cards, and then all of a sudden they're gone. And now I probably should consider making a Father's Day card in the future, because Father's Day is coming up, so I hear. And I probably should have something for that. Thank you. Yes, it was sunny. We have been missing the sun. I'm sure you have in Canada. We've been missing it so much. I miss the sun. I don't know what's going on with this weather. I heard the summer's supposed to be hot and gross, where I live at least. So, I mean, there's hope for that, but I don't know when that hot and gross weather's coming, because I could really use it. Like, it's just so cold. Who approved this cold weather? I don't know. But we'll get there. We'll get to the nice warm weather. And I'm going to cut maybe a few more of these. Lots of different colors and shapes. And the whole idea is this is going to just kind of fall together beautifully. Or that's the plan. I mean, this is all just fun for crafting. So, and this will all work out. And we'll have a bunch of cards at the end. Now, like I said, we're going to probably do this over the course of 2 days, maybe 3 days, just because I don't want to keep you guys on the online here for 5 hours as we make cards. And then let's do this blue one here as well, for a few stripes. But this is the part 1 of the craft making, and then we'll do part 2 next week. And maybe next week we'll be able to put this all together, but we're going to just start with part 1 today. And if I can get my paper to cut, we'll be rocking this. Now, I only cut 4 little blank pieces at the beginning, but we'll maybe cut some more once we get this moving. And I don't have my glue handy, but it'll be here in a second. Now, somebody I saw, so I do cards. I don't want to say I don't do cards. Hey, Joan, we're making bulk cards today, and we're cutting scrap pieces of paper from my scrap bin at 1 inch thick. And so, but someone was telling me in the card world that, like, I use glue all the time. Let me grab my glue while I talk. I use glue. I use this stuff, right? And someone was telling me the other day that they use tape, and they have like these super cool tape guns. Not like this dollar store stuff that I've got, which doesn't work. But they've got like a full on, like, it's like, this massive tape gun. But that's what I need. Probably not. I probably don't need that massive tape gun. Okay, but that'd be a cool thing to have. So we've got these little card pieces, and now I'm going to grab my pre-cut pieces, and we're going to do 1 at a time. We can't do 4 at a time because I think I'm going to lose it. So we're just going to put them on. I'm going to try to save some of this so that we can use like some of the bits and pieces for other ones as well. Maybe like so. So just bear with me for a second as I put these down. I tried to keep the scraps in color families. Open folder inside document box. I don't have a system for patterned paper. So yeah, most of my stuff ends up in this big box that I have. But the one thing that I have, we're trying to go on an angle here, sorry. The one thing that I do have is typically my patterned paper I keep off to the side because it came in a 12 by 12 sheet to start with. And so I want to kind of keep it in a 12 by 12 sheet to finish. Because I know that they're a little bit different, so they've got a little bit different dimensions. And the bin that I have is mostly 8.5 by 11. We're gonna move this whole thing down a little bit. Sorry, just trying to get this to fit, and we need one more color here. Let's do some more blue. Okay, so this is gonna be kind of the pattern on the first card. I don't like that. These hearts don't match. Maybe that's better. Let's do that. Okay, so we've got an idea here. And I'm going to do this totally the wrong way, but I'm going to do this my way. Because in theory, I should like put the little smidgen of glue on this and place it in the right spot, but we're not doing that. We're going to just give her with glue. Ruth is cold in the UK as well. I'm sorry to hear that. And I don't mean to sound ignorant or rude, Ruth, but I've been to the UK. And I know people who have been in the UK, and oftentimes people say that the weather in the UK is not always the greatest. Is that true? Does the weather not always, like, is it not always that fantastic over there? So is this like normal weather for you to have cold weather there? I'm just curious because I don't know. And I don't mean to be rude or ignorant. I just am curious. That's my curiosity question. So if you would like to answer that, please do. If not, I won't take it personally either. I forgot some glue here. Okay, and we're going to put this piece here. Okay, so now I'm going to let this dry for a second. This dries pretty quickly. Cricut chews printer paper too, yes. I found that when I've got a good mat, Ruth, my Cricut doesn't chew my printer paper too badly, but if I'm using my mats right now are so bad, I was just like, I don't even feel like washing them, so I gotta buy some new ones. So this is gonna dry. If I had tape, I could do this right away, but we're just gonna let this dry for a second, and we're gonna go to the next one, and we're gonna do this next one. I'm gonna kind of change the direction on this. I'm gonna go maybe like flowers this way here. Let's see what I got on this side. And what do I got? I need to cut this guy. I had scissors. Good thing I got multiple scissors here. I'm going to cut this like so. Maybe this will work. So this one's going to go kind of sideways. We're going to put this here and here and here. We're going to do like an alternating pattern on this side. Like that. And then on the other side, let's do hearts. No, I don't like that. No. I've got something here that will work. Just, I'm going to find it. Where did it go? We're going to try to find. No. Let's do this. And this. Alright, so we're going to kind of do like this. That's not good. I swear I cut a lot of paper and now I can't find any of. Oh, this one's nice. We're going to pull some of these flowers in here. Alright, so again we're going to do like a weird pattern, but this one's going to have this line in the middle. So we're going to, again, glue this like there's no tomorrow. And when we're done gluing this one, the next one will be dry and we'll snip it. So we're going to go sideways like so. Really should have done this a little bit more like this. Oh, it's not working. Things are not falling into place like they're supposed to be. This is sad news, but this will we'll get there. Like, we will get there. So we're just going to glue all these pieces here. Okay, I need one more little piece here to have this matching on this side. All right, we're just gonna glue that piece back down. And I'm going to come back to this piece here with my paper cutter. Now, if you're good with scissors, or if you got big scissors, I got these little itty bitty ones, and they are not very effective at cutting long lines. We're just going to cut this. And now we're going to cut this guy here. And here. And here. And now I've got a front panel for my card, like this. Now, I think that's good. Now we're going to pull this guy up here as well and cut it. So, it's nice when my blade is sharp so I can actually cut this stuff. And I know I'm wasting some paper here. I could have been more efficient, but I'm going to be honest with you, I've got so much scrap paper that I'm okay if some of it gets wasted and doesn't get totally utilized. That didn't cut at all. There we go. So there's another front panel. So now I'm just going to show you here my pile of junk. So now I've got this little background for a card. So like this or like this, and I'm gonna make some more. But these will kind of be glued on to my cards. But then I've got the ability to put like a sentiment on top, like happy birthday, happy Father's Day, miss you, get well, whatever it is. And so that's kind of what next week's plan is going to be. So this is this week's idea. So we're using scrap paper. I'm going to keep working here because we've been on for half an hour. But I'm going to make a few more of these with my scraps, and then I will have a bunch of these for more cards. And so the nice thing with this is hopefully I'll get rid of like maybe 5 sheets of scrap paper instead of keeping them all, but now I've got them like this. And then you can do different designs. I think that one of the designs I might try to do is like a circle, like all the 1 inches going out this way, but we'll see how that goes. But so I'm going to keep doing this. If you want to keep doing this on your own at home, you can, but I'm going to call the video quits here about, just because we've been on for half an hour and I know everyone kind of has a time limit, and so do I, right? So if you have any last questions before I go about my fancy cards, next week what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to make some sentiments for this. And they're not going to be Cricut sentiments. They're going to be probably Canva or even just like Microsoft Word. But we'll see. I might go Canva because Canva's got some nice free designs that we can use. And we can learn how to do that together. So that's what we've got today. Brilliant. Can't wait to attack my scraps. Thank you, Sharon. I needed to do some scraps and I needed some cards, and so this is this week's activity. So next week when we come back, I'll have some more of these to just show you different designs. And I might, if you're on my newsletter, if you're not signed up for that, attached in the links below, I'll try to post a picture of the ones that I've done this afternoon, because I got to do a few more today because I need some cards for the weekend. But oh, I forgot. If you do not have tickets yet to the Scrapbook Fun Summit, I have a link in the description below for that, because that's happening next week on the, again, I've got the dates messed up in my head, but that's happening on Wednesday. It starts the 4th of June and it goes until the Sunday, the 8th of June. So I've got a cool project happening there. But I need to, make sure you guys get tickets so that you can see me. I've got some pretty cool things that come with my project. I'm doing some cool shakers, and there's a whole bunch of really amazing projects there as well. So tickets are in the description below here, somewhere there, down there, somewhere in the description of the video. Be sure to get those, and thank you everyone so much for joining and talking with me today. And I will see you guys next week when we do part 2, maybe of 3 of this card, or part 2 of 2. We'll see how far we get along next week. Thank you so much, everybody, and I hope the weather warms up for everyone and we get some nice sun and warmth. Happy crafting, everybody.